Hey, how's it going, guys? John here from DOCasts, and in this episode, we're going to go over installing WordPress using the DigitalOcean one-click installs. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to enter in my host name, and just for this example, we're going to get some free domain names from .tk. So you can see that this is the URL, which is .tk, and we're going to go ahead and I'm going to use wpdomain.tk as the domain name for this installation. So what I'm going to put is wpdomain.tk in the host name, wpdomain.tk, TK right there. Then we're going to select the lowest droplet size for now. If you need to in the future, you can go ahead and scale your installation up if you need to. Then we're going to select the region. I'm going to select San Francisco. Then go to Applications. Applications is where all the one-click installs are. At the time of this video, the Applications is within the beta mode. So you may or may not run into some bugs. If you do, go ahead and report that to support. Alright, so for this example, let's use the WordPress on Ubuntu 12.10 and let's create the droplet. Alright, so this should be relatively fast. And keep in mind that the password for your root login will be emailed directly to you. So you want to make sure that you check your email for that. Alright, very cool. So it went ahead and it created our droplet for us, wpdomain.tk with the IP address right here. If you actually go to this IP address right now, it'll lead you to the WordPress installation setup. Before we jump into the terminal and start setting up our localhost, let's go to .tk, which is actually .tk. There's no .com in there, so if you go directly to this URL right here that's highlighted, it'll take you to this website where you can get a free domain. For this example, again, we're going to use the wpdomain.tk, and I'm just going to go ahead and hit go. I'm going to run through the setup right here so that I can get this installed for myself. Go ahead and do that for yourself on that end if you're not ordering a domain, but rather getting it free from .tk. And then once you do that, go back into DigitalOcean and go to your DNS area. So I'll open that up within a new tab just so you can see what that looks like. And what we're going to do is we're going to add a domain name. The name that we're going to use is the wpdomain.tk. And then the IP address is going to be the IP address for our server. So if we go back into this droplet area, I'm going to highlight this, I'm going to copy this, go back into your DNS area, and point it to this IP address. Now let's select the droplet, and the droplet we're going to use again is wp.tk. And then we'll go ahead and create the domain. Alright, so then you can go ahead and leave all of this alone. Right now this is the A record with your server IP address, and then it also has the name servers right here. So just leave that alone. Zone file DNS is propagating. But let's go ahead and get this set up within .tk. I'm going to pause this video, get this set up, and then come back to it. Alright, so the domain name for my .tk has now been registered. We're going to wait just a little while for it to propagate, and hopefully it'll come up in time for me to show you guys. Sometimes it can take anywhere from instantly to 24 hours. It just depends. Let's go ahead and we'll go into our terminal now. And what I'll do is move back to the droplet page so I can get this IP address here. And I'm going to go ahead and enter in SSH root for my root user. Then I'm going to enter in the IP address here. Alright, and then I'll go ahead and I'll press enter. It's going to ask me if I want to connect. And this is only going to ask you probably the first time. After this, it's going to store it within your host file. And we're just going to go ahead and type in yes, press enter. And then we're going to go ahead and enter in our password that was emailed to us and press enter. And you should now be connected to your droplet. So I just went ahead and shrank that. Let's clear this up. Alright, so the first thing we want to do is we want to go to our Apache virtual host file. And we'll get to that file by simply browsing through our droplet using some basic commands. So the first one, we're just going to see what's in there with the ls command. Then we're going to move up one. And we're going to see what's in there again. And then we'll change into the etc file, see what's in there again. Alright, then we're going to change into the Apache file. So let's scroll up just a bit to find that. And it should be Apache 2. So let's go ahead and move into that one. Let's change directory with cd, Apache 2. Press enter, ls again to see what's in there. Then we'll go into this sites enabled folder right there. So we'll change the directory into sites enabled. ls again to see what's in there, and you should see your domain name right here. So your host name is listed within the sites enabled. So let's go ahead and check out what this looks like. We'll open the Vim editor for wpdomain.tk. Alright, so since Vim isn't found, I'll go ahead and install it really quickly. You don't have to. You can actually use Nano if you want to, but I personally like Vim and I like it installed on all of my droplets, so I do this automatically. And you can do this by using the sudo apt-get install vim command. So let's do that real quick. Alright, so the server or the droplet's going out and it's grabbing the package for Vim, then it's bringing it onto the droplet. It's going to install it for us, and then once it's done, it'll let us take over commands again. Alright, so it's already installed it just with me talking there, and we'll go ahead and check that Vim is installed using the Vim version. Alright, and if we scroll up, we should see that Vim is in fact installed. So let's go ahead and Vim into the wpdomain.tk, and we should see that, hey, we got our virtual host set up, and it actually did this automatically for us. So that if we go to wpdomain.tk or www.wpdomain.tk, we should see our WordPress installation. So with that said, we actually don't even have to mess around with the virtual host file. But it's good to know what it looks like. So if we go back into our browser and actually open up a new tab, and we type in wpdomain.tk, you should see, hey, the WordPress installation setup is there. Alright, very cool. So we can go ahead and we can just begin setting up our WordPress installation. But before we do, I want to show you that DigitalOcean has gone ahead and created your MySQL database automatically for you, and it's assigned you a random MySQL root password for you. So you can actually see what this looks like. If you go back into your terminal, let's exit out of this Vim area by using the semicolon, and you can see this on the bottom left hand corner, semicolon Q, and then we'll press enter and it'll take us out of the Vim mode. So let's clear out this terminal area. I'll press enter, and what we'll do is we'll go back into our root area. So I'll cd and then I'll use the tilde command to get us all the way out to home. Alright, so now let's check where we're at using the ls command just to see what files are here. We should be home now. And if we use the lsla command to see any hidden files, we should see this myconfig file right here. Let's go ahead and vim into that real quick. Alternatively, you can use the cat command, which is just cat.myconfig, and that way you don't have to, get out of Vim again. So we'll just use the cat command and press enter. You'll see that we have the MySQL password right here, and then we have the MySQL username right after that. Alright, so let's go back into the setup now that we know these two things, and let's just go ahead and go through the WordPress installation. So for this one, I'm going to put WP domain, just like my domain name is. Then user, it's always advised that you change it from admin to something else, but I'm just going to leave it as admin just for this example. Then my password, I'll just make it real easy for this. And my email. Alright, so that's my email. And then privacy, you can choose whether or not you want search engines to index the site. Most people do want it to search the site so that they can get some search engine optimization. And let's go ahead and install WordPress. You've noticed that you didn't have to enter any database information into there. It's like that because, well, DigitalOcean set it up to be super simple for you. So let's go ahead and just log right into there. And boom, your WordPress installation is set up. Your WordPress site is ready to go. You now have a free domain name, a WordPress site set up on a DigitalOcean droplet, which is right now $5 a month, which is super cheap. So now you can go ahead and start customizing your WordPress site and get things going for you.